Good day, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful ass, magical ass moment in time. Let's get it in, y'all. Get your lemon waters, get your morning teas, and say hello to your guides and vibe with me. That's right, y'all. We're going in regarding whose army are you in? The Battle of Armageddon. Ancestors. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hey everyone, welcome to another beautiful ass, magical ass moment in time. Thank you so much for joining me here on today's epic massage regarding you and whose army during this army of you regarding the Battle of Armageddon. Very interesting topic today, because I usually sometimes don't know what I'm going to talk to y'all about until they give it to me last minute, or they'll give it to me in segments or chunks or series, or just don't give it to me at all and I just have to wing it. So it's interesting because a series of events have begun to transpire upon this planetary construct. And what is happening all around you that is you're seeing and you're witnessing on the news is actually happening first within the vibratory fields of the people. What do I mean by that? Many people don't even realize the real lies and the fact that the gates of hell are literally open. When the POPE fled out of the Vatican, that should have told y'all right there that he didn't do it willingly. It's interesting because we have stepped into the time where a lot of people are being tested based off of their own heart. And I'm starting to see a lot of pictures of, let's just say, indigenous folks pose in their military outfits. And although I think the best part of that pose is to be in shape on the outside of themselves, but mentally, there's something that's way off. Especially when one does not realize that you're fighting in the wrong, first of all, you're fighting in the right war, but on the wrong side. So today I want to ask each and every one of you, you in whose army? Whose side have you chosen? When you even think of the word army, arming me, what are you armed with? So you may have heard the phrase, you and whose army? Or me and God's army. First of all, you must know that you are the gods and the goddesses of this planet. And if you have a problem being called a god or a goddess, then you obviously have your words miscombobulated. Because how can you say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come? Who do you think the kingdom is? Thy will be done on earth as it is in the heavens. Give us this day our daily bread. I don't even know why I went all into that. I didn't even know I remember that. But it's deep because here it is, even scripturally, spiritual people know spiritual people. And thy word have I hid in my heart that I may not sin against you. Who is that talking about? That's talking about you. Because you have to realize that if your mama and your daddy's a duck, you're going to be a duck. If your mama and your daddy's a dog, you're going to be a dog. If your mama and your daddy's a horse, you're going to be a horse. If your mama and your daddy's a god, good day, gods and goddesses. Exacto mundo. What is trippy? Because how are you dressed up? Not just with your so-called military fatigue or camouflage on the outside of you, but it's called camouflage for a reason. Because it's camouflaging and it's cloaking your own vibratory field. Even in your mindset, so many are camouflaged right now. It was interesting because I went to the hood yesterday, right? And I was very tickled by how many of my sisters were wearing the fancy ass, nice ass face mask. But it was really disturbing to me mentally because I could not understand, overstand by the life of me how the hell you spend that money on that fancy ass mask, but you all every day, all kinds of ways out of shape. So it does not matter how many masks you wear, how fancy your mask is, if you are masking yourself internally, on the inside of you. In other words, if you're not in shape physically, then you're not going to be in shape mentally, which means that you're obviously not in shape spiritually, which means what? You're obviously off balance emotionally. So, ladies and gents and lads, let me present to you the next incoming wave that is coming up over our land. And the wave that is coming up over our land that many of you may not have realized, and pretty sure that many of you may have, but this next wave that we have just entered into is a mental illness wave. So this is why it was so important for each and every one of you to stay sober-minded, but yet diligent in your mantras, even in your own personal exercise routine, and how it is that you get yourself physically fit and physically in shape. You can wear all the masks in the world, but if your insides is messed up, you dressed up for what? The same exact thing when it comes to your military outfits that you're wearing, your police officer outfits. With all that's going down, I just want you to think about whose army are you choosing? Are you even grounded enough to balance yourself? This is interesting too, because even if I bring up the shoes and you're wearing heels, your ancestors never wore heels. If you do research on the heels, it even arches your back and causes spinal bifida in so many different ways. It unroots you and ungrounds you from the earth. And this is why our ancestors even walked around barefoot, because they knew that there was an importance to the connection of the earth. That whatever placebo pills that you're taking, because it actually is a placebo pill, no matter what it is that you claim the cause is, it's only working because you're giving it power to work based off of your neediness of it. So if you're telling yourself, I need to take my pills today, I need to have my fix today, then be mindful that we are literally in the battle of Armageddon. So if you are surrounded by people, places, and things that you're partying with, and your ass is drunk, see, that's why my black ass makes sure my ass is sober as hell, because that's one thing that I did not want to have to explain to my little ones as to why when some shit going down that mommy can't run because I'm drunk. Oh, hell no. See, this is so important that each and every one of you pay attention, because that little bitty shot, that little bitty drink can literally cause you to be unstable minded even in your actions. So this is why you have to make your next move your best move, because you never know. If some shit can kick off right up now and your ass is drunk and you can't run, you in trouble. You in trouble. And also, I want you to be mindful of even the gear that you have on the outside of you. If you're dressed up and you're wearing specific battle gear, but you're on the wrong side, you've chosen to help equip those who are trying to disempower you, and you're smiling and you're posing for pictures and you're going after the money of it. All money ain't good money. Did you not get the memo? There is a federal mandate in place right now that you cannot be evicted. And even if you are evicted, would you not rather be evicted than be on the wrong side of the Armageddon battle? So here it is, so many are dressed up, and here it is, you're dominating and causing pressure and control over the masses of the people. And this is why so many people are losing their jobs all over the land, because job, first of all, is just over broke. And a lot of people don't even realize that if you don't live your dreams, someone's going to come along to hire you to help them live theirs. Are a lot of slanderers of the righteous, those who are naysayers or repeaters or bottom feeders, because it's like craw crabs or crabs in a bucket. So many people are upset that the spiritual people have actually done the work for the ritual, to the point to where those who are slandering them and the naysayers that are trying to pull them back down in the bucket don't even realize that they have been taken over by insidious spirits. It is so interesting the times that we've even embarked upon, because along my journey, what I have witnessed, and I'm pretty sure many of you are even witnessing this right now, even how the governmental systems have played a major part in the separation of the wheat from the tares. So many of you are probably even finding that a lot of people are even turning against you if you don't wear a mask on. One trick about this mask thing that I want all of y'all to just pay attention to: you don't have to wear the mask, because first of all, they're getting so strict to where you can't go in any stores at all without a mask. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to go in one of these stores or one of these buildings, the trick is to put your mask on your chin. Even if you put it on your chin and your mouth and your nose is not covered, mark my word, nobody's gonna say shit to you. Isn't that the same thing as not wearing a mask? But no one's paying attention. They just want you to be a part of the programming. So in the meantime, in between time, here it is, there's a separation that is happening. And so many people are choosing which army they're going to be in, even if that army consists of trying to bring you down with hurt, harm, injury, and or slander against you. Many people are looking for clout. Let them talk about you, because as people talk about you, whatever they say, trust me, touch not my anointing and suffer my prophets no harm, which means that as these people begin to talk about you and to slander you, trust me when I say, they will be made your footstool by the gods and the goddesses who are the master forces behind the scenes that are even working on your behalf. So many people are walking around in a zombie state right now. California and the entire West Coast has literally turned orange. The people that are there are reporting it as if it's walking through hell, and it's true. They are. Because in my vision, what I saw were many specific supreme forces that are walking behind the smoke and mirrors of that scene that will begin to soon appear before the eyes of these very people. What's even deep about it is that so many right now are still drinking and marrying and partying and walking around with so much sexual promiscuity and drugging themselves to the point to where many are even wearing hair weaves and not even realizing that whoever hair that is that you're wearing on your head, their spirit is going to begin to consume your body and to come alive within you. So you're going to find yourself acting in insidious ways and not even knowing why you're taking on certain habits and you're doing certain things that you never would have done. We're in a time where daughters are against mothers, fathers against sons. We're in a time where people will hear someone talk about you. And if they hear someone talk about you, they will take that as the end all be all of what that person is saying. And just for the sake of being a part of that clique, they will run with whatever someone is saying negatively about you, not even realizing that they have chosen a side, whether it is true or not true. What's even deeper about it is that so many people do not even see, do not even know that here it is, we have a massive famine as I speak that is going on throughout the entire cosmos. We also have a famine of water, we have a famine of love, we have a famine of spirit. So here it is, people literally, you're about to witness how within this famine, and on top of what's happening behind the scenes of this famine, as we enter into the colder months, there is going to be a massive EMP attack. So in other words, look at everything that is happening around you. At any second now, between now and before this year is out, expect all the lights to go out completely. So even though you may say, oh, I have enough food, I have enough water, I'm prepared, do keep in mind, how are you going to cook it? How are you going to prepare it if there's no electricity at all? Well, since a lot of y'all don't like to take my word for it and you want to hear it first from your governmental structures, go ahead and look at the Department of Homeland Security's website. They put a warning out to warn each and every one of you to expect an EMP attack at any moment now. So, okay, so let's add to the utter madness of everything. So here it is, with everything that's going down, so many people are still in the same mindset as if nothing has happened at all. Ain't shit going down at all. Everything is cool. And trust me when I say even the very elect are tested. And there are those who are being tested with how they treat the very elect. And they're being brought in the presence of the very elect and given every ample opportunity to do them right. But because of the evilness and the vindictiveness and the manipulation of their own heart, they're being exposed for who they are truly deep on the inside. So trust me when I say, if there is something that you know to do right, do right. If there's something that you know that you should not be a part of, do not be a part of it. If you are tempted with temptation, trust me, it's a setup. I don't give a goddamn how tempting it is, how it looks, and trust me when I say, make sure you make spirits back the fuck off you. What I mean by that, let me give you a perfect example. So here it is, I have been having to handle specific business, right? So, as I'm pretty sure we all have been. However, there's a specific masculine energy that I've been having to go around to handle this business because I have no other choice but to go around and handle my business. However, every time I'm around this specific masculine energy, this masculine energy is tickled by how beautiful you are and, ooh, when you look gorgeous today, ooh. And first of all, to me, that's so disgusting, especially when I know you eat meat. I don't know what that is, but that's so, it's like you might as well just stand in front of me and drink a cup of blood. What's also disgusting is that this specific person is married. It's not so much that this person is married as to the fact as me being a single mother with my seed next to me, and here it is, you're going to keep making all these little gestures towards me about how beautiful I am, and oh, you look good, oh, can't you control yourself? So since this person does not know how to control themselves, I'm having to, one, defend and protect myself and protect my starseed who's always with me. Because I don't just let nobody just watch my kids. You ain't my child. I ain't finna just drop my children off to anyone. I'm going to get to that in a second. Because we are going to discuss the children here. So many of you are in this space where you're finding yourself around people who are not only being disrespectful towards you, but they're disrespecting themselves. They're disrespecting their wives and or husbands in their household. And if you're allowing them to have that behavior around you, they're disrespecting your children. So I had to check that shit. I was like, first of all, you need to cut that shit out. Do not talk to me at all in any type of way that you would not be talking to me if your wife was not standing right here with us. Checkmate. Ever since then, the whole look on the brother's face just dropped. And it wasn't just a look on his face, it's his whole entire spirit. One, because that's a ritual. I am a spiritual person, which means that whatever it is that you're intrigued by is my light. That does not mean that all of a sudden you can allow your demons to be out of control. So since you can't cage them, let me cage them for you. So first of all, if you are a feminine energy, even a masculine energy, and you're not teaching people how to treat you, and for some reason, you don't even come at them like that, but yet they feel that they can still talk to you a certain way because of their own lust, because of their lack of control of self. And then what's so deep about it too is, have you not noticed if you mention to anyone at all the times or a warning about what they should be preparing for or how they should be getting ready, have you not noticed that you're the culprit of being the weirdo? Well, nuh-uh. It's time to flip that shit. They're the weirdos. If all this shit that's going down and going around, and here it is, I'm even mentioning something about what's happening, and you sitting there like, how you know that? Are you sure? First of all, you are so cloakedly blinded that it is a death trap to be in that person's presence. And also, it's very draining and very disgusting to even have to be trying to explain yourself to anyone at all the times that we're in right now. Now, let's get to the children, the starseeds. First and foremost, the starseeds are on lock, y'all. They are so on lock. They're on their posts. They're in their callings. The children are going to do what it is that they see you do. They're not going to do what it is that you tell them to do. You can forget it. You can repeat yourself. I don't care if they're a starseed or not. The starseeds are here to combat old governmental structures and to do with old governmental systems that never served any type of holistic purpose in our timeline at all. So all you can do really with the starseeds, because they're not going to listen, is to find a way to vibe with them, find a way to work with them, find a way to communicate with them, and make sure that your communication is not so much talking at them versus to them. What I mean by that, if you're around, let's just say, because our parents were big at this shit, okay? So let me just point this out, because some of y'all may be finding yourself doing this too. I don't do that shit at all. Okay, what I mean by that, the way you talk to your children when no one's around, the way you treat your children when no one's around should be the same exact way that you're talking and you're treating your children when people are around and when they're listening. If not, you phony and you fake as fuck, and your children are going to call you out, especially the starseeds. Because right now we're given every ample opportunity to, one, make sure that your children have that connection and that relationship with you, because the times that we're coming up on, if you tell your children to go sit down and to sit right there by the door and you'll be right back, and you look around and your child is following you, you in trouble. See, you're given every single ample test right now to make sure that your children is not only paying attention to you, but they're listening to you, because that one mishap or that one slip up of them not listening to you can literally make or break it when it comes to saving their life. So what do we do with the starseeds that don't listen? You make sure that you have a connection and a relationship with them so much to where they know your tone and your frequency. It does not come in the words. This is why you have to always be talking to and always be dealing with your child in the same energetic manner before the scenes and behind the scenes, which means that you're given every ample opportunity right now to have the relationship and the connections that you have with your children. This is exactly why when you go to drop your children off at the schools, this is why your children are screaming and crying and yelling, because they know that a child is not supposed to be separated from their parents before the age of 9 years old. This is why many of you have gone out to the parent-teacher conferences and you have noticed that your child will look at you like you're crazy and separate themselves from you and go towards the teacher or go towards their other peers because they have no connection with you. So it's very deep, because here it is, we are literally in the timeline where you have to have that connection with your children. Your children are an extension of you. So because your children are an extension of you, your children are literally they're going to mimic you. I said lily for a reason. Look up that flower. The children are the flower of life. The children are the flower of your life. They are the element. They are part of your ancestral bloodline. They are your lineage. So here it is. So many people, OMG. I don't know why I just thought of this. I remember when my starseed was about, let's say, 2 years old. We went to one of our homeboys' house, and he had a little boy, and this little boy was about 9 months old. But this little boy, he would not stop jumping on my 2-year-old. And she kept trying to get him off of her, but she was freaking out. Like, what the hell is wrong with this little boy? But it wasn't so much of her freaking out, because usually I pull her back, you know, especially when she was freaking out the way she was freaking out. But what I was tripping off of, I was noticing that the little boy was not a little boy. The little boy was moving in a robotic manner. The little boy was already, let's just say, not human. And I picked that up. So many of you are seeing children, one, who are not human. Two, many of you are even judging your own children, because here it is, you have a problem with your children, let's just say, liking and or loving the same exact sex. So you're judging your children based off of a timeline that you have grown up in. We're in totally different times. Many of you don't even realize that you're the culprit as to why your sons and or daughters are loving the same sex in the first place. What I mean by that, where have you lived when your child was growing up? What did you feed them? What did you allow them to listen to? See, the governmental systems were doing an experimental program. And doing their experiment, they were ejecting the cows with thousands of different pharmaceuticals. They were ejecting the meats with thousands of different types of pharmaceuticals. So your children are loving the same exact sex based off of one, their diet and or the water that they were drinking. And here it is, you're judging them saying, oh, you weren't raised like that. I don't know what's wrong with you. And here it is, you're judging your child, not even realizing that you're the culprit as to why they have taken on such a frequency in the first place. Many of you are in this phase right now to where you've been given every single ample opportunity to choose a side. Many are choosing a side because they want clout of that people are trying to bring down. And here it is, you're a divine warner in their life. And because you're the weirdo, you're the peculiar person, you're someone who does something different based off of not who you are, because they don't know you. What are they going off of? Your frequency. Every single thing is about frequency, y'all. It has nothing to do with anyone's words. It has nothing to do even with anyone's actions, because half the people that's doing what the hell they're doing right now don't even know what the hell they're doing or why the hell they're doing it. It's all about frequency. You shall know them by their fruits. What is frequency? How are your chakras vibrating according to your vibrational megahertz? If you're not vibrating at the capacity of 144,000 megahertz, or at least trying to get there, then trust me when I say you've already done yourself a disservice. This is a time for all of you to be in the mindset of being willing to let go of people, places, and friends. I don't care who it is. It could be family, loved ones. It could be your own children. It could be the love of your life. If they have made a conscious decision to live the life that they're going to live, ain't nothing you can do about it. And if you're so focused on what it is that they're doing and how it is that they're not vibing with you, then you've already done yourself a disservice. Trust me when I say that there is an incoming wealth for those of you who are truly meek that has inherited the earth, but you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested with the things that you love the most to see if you're going to take the bait of the settlement before you are actually given what it is that you have been promised by the gods and goddesses who have brought you here in this planetary construct during this planetary alignment to test you to do, be, think, and or motivate yourself to be in the right frequency to make sure that you are on your post. Now, very deep, because we have stepped into a timeline now where people, their emotions are no longer going to be cloaked. So many of y'all are literally, I keep saying Lily of the Valley, check that out. Or there could be a lily watching, but I'm really feeling like this is talking about a lily, a flower. So if one of my moderators don't even mind putting up the meaning of, a spiritual meaning of the lily, that is going to play a very present role in the coming frequencies and energies ahead. And what that lily means, okay? Whatever is happening within your vibratory field is going to resonate within your own household. So the people in your own immediate household, if you feel like, well, I don't have no control over them, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. First of all, your children are going to vibrate, whether you share your children with another mate or a baby daddy or anyone outside the household, they're going to vibrate at the same exact capacity that you're vibrating at. This is why it's so important, even if you are in a same parent household, that you do everything in your power not to talk about the other parent to the other child, not to slander the other parent, because that's still half that person. And the child will only grow animosity towards you. It's so important for you to be the example in which you wish to see in this world, which means it's important for you to be who you are holistically from a spiritual frequency, Because no matter if you have one child in your household or 10 children in your household, your children are going to choose a parental guidance based off of the frequency that they are most in alignment with. Okay? Which means that even if your child's mama or daddy picks them up, it's not going to matter, even if that mama or that people are dressed up themselves because they want the world to see them in their specific outfits or their costumes or their makeups. It's about to be a whole ugly world when people got to take out their hair weaves, when people no longer have access to makeup, when people no longer have access to eye wigs, when people no longer have access to any type of nice, beautiful shower even. So many people are in the energy right now where they don't even realize that they're being tested to choose a side. Even the righteous, even the meek, you're being tested to choose a side. There will be many temptations that will come before you in this hour. Because trust me when I say, if you give into those temptations, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because trust me when I say, your universal abundance and flow is right behind that test. And there are energies that are in the air that are filled with frequencies of doubt and frequencies of fear. Be very careful that you don't pick up on someone else's energies and take those in as your own. You must stand on what it is that you know. You must stand on what it is that you were given dreams of for a long time. You must stand on the promises that you know within your heart to stand upon. And most importantly, this is truly a time, ladies and gents and lads, for you to say your goodbyes. I've said this is my third time saying this. And usually this is how we witness what is getting ready to transpire next. Because it usually comes in the form of threes. So what I mean by say your goodbyes, if the lights and everything was to turn off right now, who is it that you, if it's to yourself, to make peace with? And trust me when I say, if people owe you whatever they owe you, don't worry about it because they're going to pay for it energetically. If people are hurt, harming, and injuring you, don't worry about it at all. They're going to pay for it energetically. And trust me, the forces that are behind the forces working on your behalf, trust me when I say they're going to wish all they had to do was give back to you, render unto Caesar what Caesar is due. That's all they had to do. Whether it was the chance to do right by you or the chance to say, hey, I made a mistake. I ended up catching myself up with the wrong team. Reader knew better than that. Because this specific reader knew that you will know them by their fruits. So when this specific of these group of witches who want to come against me and try to pull her on their team, when she pulled back because she didn't want to be a part of it, that whole entire group turned on her. What my guides have shown me, even in that specific group of witches have now turned on each other. My job is to not care about who is throwing slander, because I know the slander that they throw, they're being controlled by insidious spirits. I don't even care who's saying what. My job is to focus on the fact that the portal is closing, and I only have so much time to get the message out to so many people, those who will listen. Those who have been following my channel, I've been talking about this for a while. Those who you followed me way from Blog Talk, we have been talking about this for a while. There will be those that will come against you. And they will try to get you to join their cliques, to join their groups, all in the sake of slandering and going against the righteous. But be very cautious of that. Be very mindful to even use your own discretion, to even use your own discernment, because if you choose the wrong army, if you decide to go against the wrong team, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And trust me when I say the judgment that is coming up on that clique is the same judgment that is coming up on the land, will be the same judgment that will come upon you, especially if you're joining groups that is coming against those who are here to uplift this planetary alignment during this universal hour. It's not midnight. It's already 12:01. Matter of fact, it's already 12:12. So here it is. We're in a timeline right now to where you will know them by their fruit and you will know them by their frequency. So many people are doing every single thing in their power to run to their governmental systems, to throw people in some type of court case or some type of alignment to where they can try to hold them down or cause hurt, harm, and injury to them. And so many people are going off of old governmental structures and statutes and codes that are not in alignment with universal laws, which are the only laws of the land, which are the universal laws, the cosmic laws. Those are the only laws. That's it. Everything else is statutes and codes. And statutes and codes do not supersede the universal laws of the land. So be very mindful which army that you have chosen to be a part of. Because trust me when I say there are a lot of people who are arming themselves with guns that they're not going to be able to be equipped to use. One thing that I want y'all to really pay attention to, and this is why I keep pointing out the guns, okay? Look at the people who are the beholders of these guns. Even if they're in the military, they can be in the most top tip shape in the world. But their mentality is not in alignment to everything. They may have one thing here and one thing there, but they're not well-rounded in their mental. Even the people who are the beholders of the guns, look how out of shape they are compared to the people who are literally using energetic weaponry of choice, which means the natural fighters. That's a true weapon when you really know how to fight. And you know how to fight without running out of breath. And if you find yourself right now in a time where you are having a hard time working out, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Darkness is not only come upon our land, darkness is superseding the land. Because the world in which you want to have known it to be was never there in the first place. It was all an illusion. And now many of you are being forced to take a side based off of your energetic frequency, based off of what it is that you are personally doing to equip yourself to be ready for this specific war. Now, many of you have been cloaked by distractions of people, places, and things around you, even others outside of you who you have been waiting to come forward to love you that don't even love themselves. If you don't know how to ride this battle out on your own, you've already done yourself a disservice. If you have not been getting yourself in shape physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, you're already doing yourself a disservice. If you feel that you have to wear some type of, let's just say, bodily dress up on the outside of you, but you're messed up spiritually because you have not done the ritual work within thyself to make sure that you're equipped physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And trust me when I say that's not going to come from any type of substance at all. That is against the natural flow of you. So watch it when people come around you. Because first of all, get them spirits off of you. Don't let someone violate your spirit, violate your space, and disrespect your children just by feeling like they want to make a little mock comment here and there about how sexy or how fine you are. That's a spirit of vomit. That's disgusting. And if a person is not even if they're not even respecting themselves with their own diet, they're already killing themselves off. So if they're not respecting themselves, you're disrespecting themselves by not enforcing the fact that they respect you. If you don't have a relationship with your children because you're disconnected from your inner child and you don't realize that your children are your ancestors' return, so here it is, you're still trying to dominate and rule and control your child and saying, sit down, go somewhere, be quiet. Here it is, we teach your child to walk and talk before the age of 2. And then when they get to 2 to 5, we want them to sit down and shut up and go somewhere. Really? Nah, that's not how that works. Trust me when I say, if you are wearing an outfit of someone else's army, even if you go to a thrift store or even if you go to an army surplus store and you even just put that on just as a fashion outfit, trust me when I say, when everything goes down, you're flagging yourself, because everyone's going to think you have some type of supply or equipment or something like that that's going to help protect them or save them, or they're going to think you know where base camp is at to help them protect them. And trust me when I say, you're going to get mobbed. Don't wear the wrong flag at all. And this is exactly why when you step inside of a courtroom, this is exactly why the doors shake in the courtroom. The doors shake because the doors go back and forth, because you have entered the temple of Baal, which is the gates of Hades. When the door shakes back and forth, that means you're stepping onto a ship, which is the mother's womb, which is how the birth certificate came about. I'll do a download on that another day. But this is why it's important for you to make sure that even when you do step into a courtroom, you're looking to see which flag is behind the one who so-called with themselves judging you. Because first of all, those are goddamn pirates. So the first thing you should be trying to do is identify yourself as to who the fuck is these pirates trying to take over my damn birthright. So many of you are wearing outfits and fighting on the wrong side. I told y'all, those of you who are officers, I told you, be careful how you treat the people, because we're stepping into a timeline and y'all have already seen it. It happened immediately after I mentioned it. A lot of y'all have already been demonetized, and you're showing up to certain events just as a volunteer, even just in your outfit, just for a presence. You're not even getting a check for it. You're not even getting paid for it. And you're hoping it's going to change. Yeah, it's going to change. They're getting ready to completely fire all y'all. They already have all their military structures and constructs in place. And half of y'all is deep too, because on the wrong side of this specific incoming war that we have embarked upon. And that is not so much my concern, as my concern is you have to know that the war is not outside of you. Everyone is looking, where do I go? What do I run to? What's the safest place? Trust me when I say someone else's safe place may not be your safe place. Your individual intellect, your ancestors, your way showers, your guides, according to your bloodline, vibrational frequency and flow, already has a specific place for you. And trust me when I say, you do not want to do all the work on yourself, and then here it is, you got the wrong motherfuckers in your camp when the shit go down. Because trust me when I say, if you're taking someone into your camp and they have not done that work on themselves, then they're putting every single person inside of your camp in total breach for being protected for what is ahead of us and what's ahead of you. So I want each and every one of you to just stop for a minute and to really just take some of your own personal time out. And I want you to really think about who are you surrounding yourself with? Who has surrounded themselves around you? What are you doing right now to make sure that you're even on the right team? That you're not dressed up, but you're messed up. I want each and every one of you to really, really think about, are you even personally equipped, physically even, to be ready to literally fight in your own army if need be? Are you willing and ready to stand alone if you have to? Naked we come into this world and naked we leave. If you're still waiting for someone to come and to ride this out with you, trust me when I say, I'm about to do another download about this and I can't wait. The one who is for you, they're not only going to be so in love with you, they're not going to leave you for someone else. They're going to respect your frequency so much that they're going to protect it. They're going to make sure that, one, you not only know that they will never leave you, like the Christ in them will recognize the Christ in you. They will never leave you, and I mean Christ consciousness. They will never leave you nor forsake you. They will make sure that you know that they're there for you. They will make sure that you know that they have your back. They will make sure that you two will be standing back to back with both of your swords during this time. Because trust me when I say we have literally stepped into birthright energies. And you are the one that your ancestors, way showers, and guides have sent here into this universal construct to make sure that you are ready specifically to ride this whole entire battle of Armageddon out. And this was so deep about it too, because you're going to be able to ride out this whole entire battle of Armageddon based off of the work that you have done individually to make sure that your entire bloodline was able to, one, break generational curses and make the shift. But so many of you were so stuck and so fixated on what your mama and your daddy and your sister and your brother and your cousins was doing to you that you ran from them and ran to a whole nother disconnecting relationship with someone else who was mirroring how they're treating you, instead of you realizing, hey, it's okay for me to be alone. It's okay for me to be empowered, to be standing here on my own to make sure that I make this shift. Because trust me when I say you're doing yourself a disservice when you don't first respect service of self. With that being said, thank you very much for joining me, y'all. Be careful out there and make sure that you're doing that work, even if you have to stand alone. Newbie and Divine. I love y'all. And of course, may the force be with you.
With this lonely man, it's my life, I'm my number one opponent. Trials be deep, they awaken me only. Know what to do. I'm in bliss, I'm surrounded by my angels. Crystallize, you can't break down my handles. I'm alive, I won't bask in no hassles. 'Cause I'm no fool. Shock revive as I cleanse.
Shout out to Erica for your donation, hun.
I'm awake, I got power to handle. I'm alive, I'm
You're welcome, I love y'all too.
I now you. These are days when our ways will be handled. What's your vibe? Are your prestigious handle? Live your life, you're empowered to be your greatest tool. Daddy taught me the game, he was on me. I got pride, it's my stride, I'm not hungry. I'm the master of my mind, I'm not lonely. Y'all feel my groove, my groove. Do y'all feel my groove? Do y'all feel my groove? I know somebody's out there listening to me. One whose trials get really deep. You can make it if you breathe. I know somebody out there praying a prayer tonight that their lives would be alright. I now heal you. In my life, do what's right with this moment. Know what to do. I'm in bliss, I'm surrounded by my angels. Crystallize, you can't break down my handles. I'm alive, I won't bask in no hassles. 'Cause I'm no fool. Shock revive as I cleanse out my castle. I'm awake, I got power to handle. I'm alive, I'm embracing my channel. I now heal you. These are days when our ways will be handled. What's your vibe? Are your prestigious handle? Live your life, you're empowered to be your greatest tool. Daddy taught me the game, he was on me. I got pride, it's my stride, I'm not hungry. I'm the master of my mind. time I won't live. Y'all feel my groove, my groove. Y'all feel, y'all feel my groove.